Well, it is April 2nd here in Manitoba, and I'm sure it is the same where you are listening to us. And that's Thursday. And Thursday is our Age Reversing Health with Judy Friesen, our esteemed guest, 38 years health coach and consultant. And we're excited to talk today about um, autophagy, fasting, and intermittent fasting. How important is this to the body? Because what we're trying to do here is give you ways in which we believe age can be reversed. Let's get this started right now. You're going to love this show. Well, welcome to you that are listening, and welcome to my co host and friend and colleague, Judy Friesen. And we've got an exciting show lined up for you. And apologize, we're a few minutes late today. A few technical difficulties. You can notice that the background here is different. I've set up some new equipment here in the office, and sometimes things just go a little sideways. But we're back here, and today's topic, talking about autophagy. How many of you even know what that means? I only discovered it about a year ago. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about fasting and intermittent fasting, the cells in our body, and the overarching theme of what we're doing in this series, Judy, is age reversing health. Is it actually possible to turn back health? Welcome to the show again, Judy.
Yeah, thanks again, Carl. Good to be here with you and looking forward to speaking with you on this wonderful topic of age reversal.
In your 38 years as a health consultant and coach, how often does this topic come up? Because we're certainly much more body conscious, I think is the right way to say it, about our health. And the last 3 years have really turned that up a notch or two. How important is this topic of autophagy? And let's start with an explanation of it before we go too much
Sure,
further.
sure, sounds good. Yeah, we haven't talked about it very much in the last, 30, 40 years, but it's becoming more popular of a topic. I'd say in the last 5 to 10 years for sure. But the word has been around for a long time, as long as there's been medicine. We've known that our body breaks down cells and gets rid of them. And so this process of your body breaking down the cells is called autophagy. And it's really, think of it as really your body's cellular recycling system.
Right. And if you break those words down, there are two words in there. Auto meaning self, phagy, which means eating. And so in putting them together, we're talking about the body in a self-eating mode. Now, let me just share what I've done because I went into this last fall and the results were nothing but stunning as my body started to go into a state of homeostasis. And that's actually part of that goal in going into this. But when does that occur? There's a number of hours that I think it takes before the body enters into this autophagy stage, correct?
Yes, that's right. Well, first of all, we want to make sure that everybody knows that if your body really ate itself, then you wouldn't have your body left. And so it's not
Right.
it's not really eating itself, but it is, the words do come from the root of eat and self. But really what it's doing is it's saying where are there cells that are dysfunctional, damaged, or they are so stressed that they're no longer any good for the body. And then the body will say, well, we got to get rid of that cell, or even just part of a cell. And it might keep some spare parts around to assemble new cells. So autophagy is a brilliant, innate, wonderful method that your body uses to clean itself up. And God the Creator put that in our body so that we would be able to live for many, many decades. So yes, autophagy is an important process. It's a good way to keep healthy, but there's a little problem though, Carl, with this, is that autophagy actually ages as the body ages. So if that process slows down, guess what? We've got too many. cells that aren't being destroyed and eliminated, and that's a problem. That's why we are
So
aging.
and right, and when we yeah, and this all is in the same lane of interest and curiosity because people are spending billions of dollars on all kinds of aids to lessen our aging, to slow down the aging process and turn back. But let's start with the number of cells in the body because in the process of getting rid of these cells, our body has to make new cells. So, and of course, this is important. So there are literally what, trillions of cells in our body and billions being replaced every day. Is that correct?
Yes, Carl, you're right. There's actually 30 trillion cells on average on an average human being. 30 trillion, and 330 billion cells are replaced each and every day. Most of them being blood cells, but still, that's a lot of cells. 330 billion cells being replaced. Did you know that the body actually makes 3.8 million cells every second? Unbelievable.
Okay. All right. So let's bring this home because in the past we've talked about the body being able to produce cells. And every cell starts off as a stem cell. That's scientifically rock solid, bedrock kind of truth. And so we talk about the need for cells, that every cell begins as a stem cell, and then the body basically causes it to become the cell it needs to become. How can
Right.
cells be activated in the body? What's going to cause that to happen?
Well, when you're making a person, a baby in utero, then there's this unbelievable process that just is programmed in that teaches the cells to become the right kind of cells. To assemble them together is way more science than we can get in on here, but it assembles the body together so we make the right number of eye cells, the right number of liver cells, the right number of kidney cells to form these organs and to form a human being.
Okay. And part of that process of building new cells, and every cell starts as a stem cell. So let's go right to the cause. The body needs to produce stem cells, and GHKCU, that copper peptide that's naturally occurring in our body, is essential part of that. Dr. Lauren Picard talks about that. So speak to a moment about that, about the need for stem cells or cells and stem cells and GHKCU, because we can connect the dots here.
Right. Yeah. So there's like 50 years of research by Dr. Lauren Picard, who's the leading researcher on this concept that the way that stem cells get activated in our body and making new ones, which we just explained, we need a lot of cells replaced because of this autophagy, right? So we need the copper peptide, which is what the body uses to actually activate the stem cells. And from there, the stem cells will go and replace the cells that are worn out or diseased or not functioning correctly. If you do not get rid of diseased or stressed out cells or damaged cells in some way, if those stick around and cells are always dividing, you've got some problems. And we also call those tumors.
Okay, excellent. So we want to help the body do the cleanup, this
Right.
autophagy. We want to use it against itself in some ways, and at the same time be on the other end, helping the body create new, fresh, healthy cells. We've identified GHKCU that can help the body produce those very precious stem cells in our body. And so the question then is, when we get the body into autophagy, which I believe happens after 18 hours of intermittent fasting, that's one way that I approached it last fall, was to enter but into intermittent fastings where you only eat within certain periods of time in a 8-hour window, leaving the
Right.
balance of 16 hours to the body to do for itself what it can naturally do. And then there's even eating in 4-hour windows or 8-hour windows. How achievable is this if we're going to assist our bodies to get into this autophagy? Talk about fasting and intermittent fasting if you can, please.
Yeah, just on a very surface level, again, there's not enough time to go into the depths of it and the distinctions between how women should do intermittent fasting versus men, because there are metabolic differences between male and female, and they have to be treated a little differently. But on general, we know that when we eat in a small window of time, the remaining time allows the body to go into this autophagy in a more rigorous way. And that's good because we want to have our bodies clean out the damaged cells in our body so it doesn't wreak havoc and give us health problems and all kinds of inflammatory diseases and all that kind of thing. So we really want to have the body do its job well, but as we age, we need to assist that autophagy a little more than when we were younger.
Right. So, in the pursuit of looking, feeling, and living younger, it's important to address these things because we know there is no one and done solution. There's not one single application, not a single pill, not a simple injection, not even the LifeWave patches worn alone will be enough to help this process. It's part of a discipline. That's why, being involved with LifeWave, we talk about LifeWave must be a lifestyle. And this eating is an essential part of it. But we've also talked about the need for healthy food, the need for supplement. All of this stuff configures into a new game plan, does it not? I mean, how important is it to put all of that? Like, you want to throw everything at this thing if you really want to achieve this age reversal, living younger, feeling younger mode, right?
Absolutely. You're not going to take one magic pill and start to create living backwards or age reversal. There's a lot of things that go into it, but I know that a lot of our listeners may be a little overwhelmed with thinking of all the things we need to do. They don't know how to begin. And so I would say that one of the easiest ways to begin is to try 5, 6, 7 days in a row of doing this eating window, this what we call intermittent fasting. It will really help to get that body going. And then to support that, wearing the patch that LifeWave makes to help our body's stem cells do what they need to do. That is
And that's the
such an easy
X39
thing.
patch that we're talking about,
That's
right?
that's the X39 patch. It's so easy. For some people, Carl, they're not well enough to actually do the intermittent fasting. And so I say to them, the first thing you want to do is put the patch on. We know that it's wearable wellness. It's a simple thing to put on your body. It's convenient, it's easy, and it actually assists the body in replacing worn out dead cells.
And you know what? I'm glad you suggested a simple approach because you're right. Some people are in such poor health that eating in a narrow window is such a significant shift they can't do it. So why don't we start with simple things like let's put the X39 patch on. It's simple. Where do you wear it, Judy? Where do you advise your clients to wear the patch? Because I know I wear it in certain places, but there's almost no place you can't wear it, correct? Like, show us a patch
Well,
if you can there.
so here is the package of patches. You get a month in a sleeve. And the patch, I can just show you actually, is very simple. I think I have one right here. Can you see that
Yep.
patch right there,
Yep.
right on my neck? Yeah, I'm working
Yes.
on my shoulder today. And so that's where I put the patch. But usually you put one patch on every day in the morning, take it off at bedtime, and you put it either behind the back of your neck or just two finger width or 2 inches below your belly button. It's as simple as that. Put it on in the morning, take it off at night, and you'll start knowing that you're doing something scientifically proven, which is to activate that copper peptide that's naturally occurring and through a bunch of whole wonderful biological interactions, it actually does help your body with getting healthier and setting the clock back.
Unbelievable. It's such a simple thing by wearing a patch. This is the most advanced photolight therapy available in the simplest application and one of the most affordable things you can do. Perhaps you've met people, I've heard of people getting stem cell injections. Very expensive. Let's start with the cost. Almost unaffordable by the average person. They're invasive because something else from someone else is going into your body. Now, just let that marinate for a little while in your mind, and you might have some concerns. They're certainly controversial because there's no way to identify where these stem cells are coming from. I'm talking about injections now, just to be clear to our audience. And then, of course, They're painful. Now I'll give you the last part of it that is probably the most discouraging part. There's no guarantee. You can spend $20,000 on a stem cell injection and get absolutely nothing for it. But if you are successful, about 30 or 40% of that injection is going to remain and do something good. Is that correct? Am I close on those numbers?
Something like that. The rest of it is overwhelming to the body. There's far too many stem cells to remain. The body tries to get rid of anything different or odd or too much going into the system. So the body will discard a good 60% of the injection, and you're left with the 30%. And then you hope that that 30% the body will accept and work with and help the body. But the thing is, you might need a number of injections. And putting in multiple injections, there is some risk to that. Why would you want to put in hundreds of billions of stem cells to know that a good 60% of your investment is cleaned out by the body? Whereas when you're wearing this wearable wellness that we call LifeWave patches, it actually stimulates the body to make exactly the right number of cells in your body. It knows how to actually tell your body to make the right amount. So it's not too many and not too few.
Yeah. So when we used to refer to our product in the marketplace, we used to say that our patches did activate stem cells. We cannot say that anymore. We want to be absolutely clear with our audience that we cannot say that. Although we used to say it. We cannot make those claims any longer. But what we are claiming for sure is the testimony of people that have been on the X39 patch, and that in itself is worth looking at. And I'm going to look for something here. If you give me a minute, I'm going to bring up an image here, and if I can find it. But I want you to talk about what we're doing here in this incredible technology, because it's a health and wellness company, and we are helping people to achieve better health and overall.
Right. And I know while your computer is booting up there, Carl, I'll just say that this is a health technology company, and I'm so glad to be part of it. But all the science in the world won't convince anybody unless they feel it for themselves. So putting on the patch and feeling the energy and the focus and the mental clarity and the recovery from sports is incalculable. It is amazing what this patch can do. It will remodel, like you see the pictures here, it will remodel the way that your face looks, the way your skin looks, not to mention the inside of your body too.
Now, this is a picture of a friend of ours, and her name is Lois, and we have permission to put this up. And these are real pictures, and I want to be absolutely clear that there is no attempt to doctor or Photoshop these pictures. They are taken in the same context. And here you see her in 2022 as she began her quest to live and feel and look younger using the X39 patch and the LifeWave Alavita Skin Trio, which is an inside-outside approach to overall health and age reversal. And I don't think there's a person looking at this that would say there isn't a remarkable improvement in the look. And this is just one of many, many people we could show you. So the question of age reversal, we're here to make the case. It absolutely is possible to do. Absolutely. Just take a look at these pictures.
For sure. Can you tell the audience, Carl, the date? Because it might not be easy to see the two different dates.
Yeah, the picture on the left here was taken in 2022. You might, hopefully you're able to see that, but maybe not.
Yep.
And the picture on the right is 2 years later. And this is the same person. And you can see right in the esophagus area here, she is wearing a patch. She wears her X39 every day. She puts on her Alavita Skin Trio treatment every day. We have a daytime, a nighttime application, and an Alavita patch that you wear at night. And that's all she's been doing. I want to be absolutely clear. That's all she's been doing. And I want to tell you, if I tell your age, you might just be really shocked. But Lois is turning 77 this year. This is a
Yeah.
picture of a woman who 2 years ago was showing signs of it. And you know what? Age sucks. Aging sucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
how else? Who's going to say I'm happy to look older? Nobody. And we are not here for that necessarily, just the look. We're here to work it from the inside out, and that's what makes this different. So I'm just going to take this off. That what we're doing here and talking about LifeWave and age reversal is inside out, outside in, right, Judy?
That's right. You don't just want the outside to look younger, because what good is it to have young looking appearance, but yet you've got all kinds of problems inside, like diabetes and diverticulitis and memory fog and all kinds of other, issues and diseases that we get as we get older, osteoporosis, all of that. You want to deal with that as well on the inside.
Right, and a lot of age reversal is on the surface. We're all familiar with seeing pictures of movie stars that haven't aged a day, not even a day. It looks like they look the same as they did 20 years ago. We know little touch-ups here and there, facelifts and other little surgery procedures, but you know what? It's still not dealing with the age reversal inside, and that is far more important. Like we always say that what's inside a person is far more important than what's outside, because the heart, the brain, the soul of our being, they all need care and nurturing. But age reversal happening from inside out has never been achieved before until we come to the company of LifeWave, the photolight therapy, the wearable technology, and the X39 patch. This has been a game changer for people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a health tech company. It's not just health and wellness, it's a technology company in the field of health. So we know that we're on the right path here, Carl, because going right back to what we talked about at the beginning of this program, if your body isn't able to keep up with the aging, you're going to start showing it. And that's why we need the ability for our body to renew itself, because it needs to keep on getting rid of, clearing out the junk and putting in the new cells. And the autophagy is only part of that whole process. Some people want to start off with saying, well, I just want to exercise and eat the right foods. But I say to them, how can you prevent yourself from breathing in bad air? You can't protect your body enough no matter how conscientious you are. And as we age, we're not able to exercise as much, or we can't always find the right foods to eat. So it is so important to lower the inflammation, which is why I wear the Eon patch every day, because it's the anti-inflammatory system that it's addressing. It's helping to lower the inflammation. And I wear that X39 every day and the Elevita patch at night.
That is a winning combination of the
Yeah.
inside out, outside in approach to it. I want to share something here because this is personal to me and what happened. And I've been using LifeWave X39 and several of the other patches for now almost 3 years. I went for a health fitness check because of my class 1 status. And when you cross the age of 60, and I know some of you are saying, you're kidding, 60? No. Yeah, I'm 60. I'm proud of it. But I went in to have this medical done, and the doctor took my blood pressure. And as it's coming down, he goes, "Oh wow!" And I thought, "Okay, that's interesting. Let's just see what else he says." So I had to ask him, "What do you mean by wow?" He says, "You have fantastic blood pressure." He says, and a few years ago, I was on the border of battling with that. They even had me on a monitoring device to see if the blood pressure that they had read in the clinic was actually right, because it was astronomically high. Today, I've got the blood pressure of a young man. Second to that, a visual test is also required to maintain your license. And last year I faded a little bit. This year I'm back up to 20/20 vision. And I'm going to say, I haven't done anything significant except wear my patch every day. You know what? We are simply here to give you some clues. Success leaves clues. And when we talk about people and the picture we showed just a moment ago, that's a clue of what you can do to help this process of age reversal. We are very excited in LifeWave to be experiencing that, Judy, are we not?
Yeah, excellent. I can't put a price on what it has done for me. Just thinking about bone density, how many women over the age of 50, 55, or 60 start to battle with this thing called brittle bones or osteoporosis?
Yeah.
I had that, Carl, in my early 50s.
I
I'd
remember
become
that.
I'd become lactose intolerant, so I could not eat the dairy, and I wasn't taking in the proper nutrients to keep my bones strong. Plus, I probably wasn't doing enough walking. But whatever the case, I had a very bad report of what we call not just mild, but moderate to severe osteoporosis. My doctor was really concerned. I did all the things that he said I should do, took the prescriptions, did the whole thing. This is long before I had learned about LifeWave, but I tried everything I could. Finally, I started using this very special, brand new, it's the latest patch that has been invented called the X49. And it's known to be not just for cardiovascular, but for helping bone density. We have all the clinical studies to show that. I started using that patch. Carl, when I had a new bone density test done, my doctor's mouth dropped open because he said, I've not seen a 9% increase in bone in just a matter of a year and a half or 2 years. Couldn't
I
believe it.
remember
So it
I
wasn't
remember
so
when you
quick.
shared that. And the
Yep.
normal increase is just maybe a few percent if you get anything, correct?
Right, one or two maybe if you're working on, taking a prescription or having the injection. And so he was blown away, and so am I. To this day, I'm blown away. The other day, I went for a walk. I tripped and fell over an uneven um, sidewalk, and I landed squarely on my hip. And that's often where women break their hips because they land typically on the heavier part, which is right there around the pelvis and the hip. I landed square on my hip, not one little problem, no fracture, no breakage. I have strong bones now to this day. That is worth to me, Carl, millions of dollars. And I might have invested, I don't know, a couple $1,000 in this patch over a 10-month period to increase my bone density.
It's amazing. So as we come to the bottom of the hour here, and I've been speaking with Judy Friesen, who is a health consultant and coach for 38 years, and we've been talking about the need and the importance, I should say, of autophagy, where the body is taking out dead cells as it's making new cells. We've talked about intermittent fasting, which is achievable. We're talking about our patches. So, if you can, in a few minutes, a brief summary, can you give us a one, two, three? Can you give the listeners sort of a one, two, three of what is achievable? Because some of these things are out of reach. Like going into an intermittent fast might not be workable for some people. But what are sort of a couple of simple steps people can take to help this process, to help the body regenerate new cells in its wake? Give our listeners a couple of steps, Judy.
Absolutely, Carl. And just before I do that, I do want to say that as we've been talking about various things, we are not here to heal, treat, cure, or diagnose any ailment. We recommend you talk to your doctor. We're only recommending some things that seem to be helpful in your overall general health, but we are not doctors and we're not healing, treating, curing, or diagnosing. But one, two, three, you asked me for. I'd say the very first thing is ask yourself if you can take one of many options to improve your health. It might be just increasing the water. It might be getting rid of alcohol or high fats, processed fats, or sugars in your diet. The second step would be take a look at whether you can maybe just limit your eating to maybe stopping at 6 o'clock at night and allow for your body to have that digestion period and not have any food until the next morning at say 8 or 9. Even that would be a good start by not snacking in the evenings like so many of us want to do. And then thirdly, I would highly recommend people uh, take a look at this health technology wearable patch by LifeWave. It will speed up and accelerate anything else that you might be doing. It'll accelerate your healing in your body.
Excellent. And LifeWave, just for you listeners that have never heard of it, is a 20-year company. They're in their 20th year, celebrating it in 2024 in more than 80 countries around the world, having documented more than 80 clinical studies, and the results are astounding. We could be here for hours talking about testimonies, and perhaps we'll bring some people on because a testimony is important. But Judy, I want to thank you for your time. We're at the bottom of the hour here. Looking forward to having you back next week on talking about age reversing health. Thank you so much, Judy, for being with us.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
All right. Well, in the closing few minutes, and I'm going to be chatting with Judy afterwards, I want to make you aware this is a series we started, Age Reversing Health. We believe it's possible because the results speak for themselves. Pictures tell 1,000 words, and we have documented evidence of people who have actually reversed their aging. And that's what we're here to talk about. So this was an important topic, a practical way for you to enter into that realm. So as always, this is Carl Krebs encouraging you to come here every Thursday, bring a friend, and let's talk about age reversing health, because I certainly believe that that is something that matters to all of us. God bless you wherever you are.